All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Real quick, I just want to say, getting some nasty comments in there. Calling me cherry picking geezer and all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't really bother me. When it comes to cherry picking stats or any kind of an angle comparison you want to look up, like I always tell them, cherry pick whatever you want. You pick any player you want to try to make them look a certain way. All I do is look up a topic and let the chips fall where they may. It's not my fault that your boy is always coming up short. That is not my fault at all. And this video is no different. So, in this video here, I got the 20 teams in NBA history. Only 20 teams ever in the history of the NBA won 65 or more games. That's it. That's not a lot. So we'll start right there. Of the 20 teams in NBA history that won 65 or more games, the 67 Philadelphia 76ers, they were 68-13. The 71 Milwaukee Bucks, they were 66-16. 72 Lakers were 69-13. 73 Boston was 68-14. 83 76ers were 65-17. 86 Celtics 67-15. 87 Lakers were 65-17. The 92 Bulls 67-15. 96 Bulls 72-10. 97 Bulls 69-13. 2000 Lakers 67-15. 2007 Dallas Mavericks 67-15. 2008 Boston Celtics 66-16. The 2009 Lakers 65-17. The 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers 66-16. The 2013 Miami Heat 66-16. 2015 Golden State 67-15. The 2016 Golden State 73-9. 2017 Golden State 67-15, and 28 Houston 65-17. Right, we got that all established. There's 20 teams in NBA history. Okay. Of the 20 teams that accomplished that feat, 15 of them won the championship. So, of the select teams that won 65 or more games, only 20. So that's about once every 4 years on average. So that's already a select, group to be in. And of those 20, 15 won the championship. So there's only been 5 teams in NBA history in almost 80 years that won 65 or more games and did not win the championship. Those 5 teams were the 1973 Boston Celtics, the 2007 Dallas Mavericks, the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers, the 2016 Golden State Warriors, and the 2018 Houston Rockets. So what jumps out at me is all the teams basically in the 21st century, there's been 10 of them. From 2000 to today, half are just in the last 25 seasons. So there have been a lot of, high win number teams. So the notion that I hear from people talking about how the 90s, the teams had inflated win counts and all this stuff, well, maybe there's a lot more parity than people think, because the only teams to win 65 or more games in the 90s was the Bulls, 92, 96, 97. That's it for the whole decade. But then you look in the 2000s, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the 2000s, and you had 5 teams in the 2010s that did it. That's more than the 90s did it. The 80s also had 3. The 70s had 3. So to me, the 90s was no different as far as that one high-level team than, any of the other decades before it, 70s and 80s. Now, here's what happened to these teams. 73 Boston, they were 68-14. They got beat in the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Knicks, 4-3. They lost in 7. John Havlicek got injured He missed one game, which was game 3. The series was tied 1-1. Havlicek got hurt in game 3. They won that game. He got hurt later in the game. He separated his shoulder from a Dave DeBusschere pick, a screen. He tried to play and did play the last 4 games of that series with a separated shoulder, and he went out there and played left-handed. And if you watch the film or you read about it, you'll know that the Knicks obviously were just kept trying to force Havlicek to the right. This guy had a separated shoulder and is out there trying to do anything he could. And you got guys today that, oh, I got ankle discomfort. I can't play in the All-Star game. Yeah, I got soreness. Bunch of bitches. You got, like I said, a guy with a separated shoulder only got one arm out there trying to play. Huge difference of the guys, the men back in those days and the boys playing today. Okay, so anyway, there was circumstances around this one here. Now, if there was a fully healthy John Havlicek, do I think Boston would have won that series? No doubt about it. They would have won it. So, in the first 50 years in the history of the NBA, that's the only team that lost when winning 65 or more games out of 10. I'd say that's pretty impressive. All right, and then the next team was the Dallas Mavericks in 2007. They got beat in the first round by Golden State, and Dallas didn't have any injury, no excuses. They just flat out got beat. That's the biggest upset in NBA history as far as win disparity. Golden State won 42 games. Dallas won 67. That's a 25-win disparity. It's the biggest upset, bar none, in NBA history. So they just flat out got beat, got upset. No excuses there at all. And also, a lot of people make, Dirk got elevated a lot after what happened in 2011. And just like I did a video last week about the whole dynasty thing, the same thing with Dirk. He was now validated because he beat LeBron. So now Dirk's, an all-time great, and I'm sure he probably would have been anyway, even though 06 and 07 didn't do Dirk any favors, blowing a 2-0 lead in the finals in 06, and then having the worst upset in NBA history in 07, not exactly real great on your resume. But in 2011, it validated him because he beat LeBron in the finals. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. So the next one that happened was in 2009. Cleveland Cavaliers were 66-16. They got beat in 6 games to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay? So there was no injury. I looked it up. All the players were there. Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, LeBron James, Daniel Gibson, even Ben Wallace, Mo Williams, Delonte West. They were all healthy, played every game, no issues whatsoever. They just flat out got upset. And no excuses. They just got upset. Okay, fine. It happens. Whatever. 2016 Golden State, the best record of all time, 73-9. They got beaten 7. We all know what happened. 7 in the finals of Cleveland. Draymond Green got suspended 1 game. Andrew Bogut missed 2 games. Now, I don't know how much of an impact it had. He was playing about 12 minutes a game, so it's not like he was playing a ton anyway. So probably a minor, whatever you want to call it, a minor circumstance. But the Draymond Green suspended was definitely a circumstance. But Steph Curry was hobbled. He missed games earlier in the playoffs because he was injured. Ankle and a knee injury. He had both. So certainly that contributed, all of this contributed to losing a very close Game 7. Okay? Last but not least, 2018 Houston, the last team to win 65 or more games. They were 65-17. They were up 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals. They ended up losing it in 7 to Golden State. Chris Paul got hurt. He had a hamstring injury. So he missed the last 2 games. So again, circumstances. So the only 2 of these 5 that didn't have circumstances was Dallas and Cleveland. In fact, Orlando was missing their all-star point guard, Jameer Nelson. So, out of the 5 teams here that didn't win the championship, like I said, 4 of them came after 2000. So half of them, half of the 10 happened after 2000. 4 of the 10 got beat. Now, granted, there was some circumstances behind some of them, but the other ones just flat out got upset. But still, to me, this has a lot to do with mental fortitude. A team that can maintain winning at that level in the regular season and then carrying it over to the playoffs was tough to do. In 2009, the Lakers also won 65 or more games. In fact, I think that's the only time in NBA history you had 2 teams win 65 or more games in the same season. Now, if Cleveland would have lost in the finals to the Lakers, there would have been a lot more credibility there. But that's not what happened. But if you take a look, in the last 50 years, there have been 8 teams in the Eastern Conference to win 65 or more games. 7 won the championship. The only team that did not win the championship in the last 50 years from the East was the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers. So, again, your boy, it's not my fault that this guy, it just has all these, bad things on his resume, these shortcomings, these disappointments. That's just not my fault. And here's another one that I'd never realized. Of the 15 teams that won the championship while winning 65 games, okay? There's 15 of them. The 67 76ers, they won the finals in 6 games. 71 Milwaukee, they swept Baltimore. 72 Lakers, they won in 5 games. I think they beat the Knicks, actually. Boston in 73, they got upset. We know that. They weren't one of the 15. 83 76ers, they swept the Lakers. 86 Boston beat Houston in 6. The Lakers in 87 won in 6. 92 Bulls, 96 and 97 Bulls, all won in 6. The 2000 Lakers won in 6. The 2008 Boston Celtics won in 6 games. 09 Lakers won in 5 games. The 2009 Cleveland got upset. 2013 Miami Heat needed 7 games to win their championship. Golden State in 2015 won in 6. 2017 Golden State won in 6. So of the other 15 that won it, every team won the finals in 6 games or less, with the one exception, the Miami Heat in 2013. And this is a team that was at its peak of its super-duper team with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. You just got another top 75 player. I know he was 36 years old, but how would you like to have a 36-year-old Ray Allen coming off your bench? Not bad. 66 and 16. And they needed 7 games to beat Indiana in the conference finals. And the only team on this list, the 15 that won the championship, that needed 7 games in the finals to win it. So there's a lot going on here. And the 09 Cleveland team, yes, that's the only team in the last 50 years from the East. And there was 8 of them in the last 50 years to win 65 or more and not win the championship. And then of the 15 of 20 that did win it, Miami in 2013 was the only team that needed 7 to win the championship. So what's my takeaway from this? My takeaway is that even when LeBron James is stacked, he still struggles to just dominate. The really only year you could even say that they kind of, dominate whatever would have been maybe 2012 in the finals. They won in 5 games. And I know somebody told me Russell Westbrook was hobbled, whatever. But even in that season, they needed 7 to get rid of Boston. I think Bosh was hurt, though. So, okay, maybe a little pass, whatever. But that's it. I mean, yeah, 2020 in the bubble, that was definitely weird, special circumstances. But I'm just saying, LeBron James's 2 best seasons ever, team-wise, 2009 Cleveland and 2013 Miami. Just struggling to win these things. And you got the best team by far. And that's what kills me with these people. They think it's like no big deal. Like you have a team like this, you're supposed to win it. The first 10 years, every team won it. When they won 65 or more games, they win the championship. And they didn't need no 7 games in the finals to do it. With the lone exception of Boston in 73, lost in 7 games. John Havlicek, basically wasn't there 1 game and 4 games played with 1 arm. I mean, that was the only exception. These teams were mentally tough. When they were that good, they knew they had a target on their back, but they brought it every game. I mean, it's just like nothing I've ever seen. To me, this is when the NBA started to go downhill. Was definitely, I'd say the middle of the 2000, like around maybe 2005 or 2006, ironically, right about the time when they outlawed hand checking. But that's when you see these teams start getting beat. Now, I know that, maybe there was some injuries and stuff to some of these teams. I get it. And Houston, was going up against the defending champs. They had Kevin Durant. Golden State had just won the Western Conference 3 years in a row. Okay, I get that. And of course Chris Paul got hurt and all that kind of stuff. But the only 2 on here that didn't have some kind of a key player missing or hurt or something was only these 2. That's it. In the whole history of the NBA, these 2 just flat out got upset and beat. And all anybody will talk about in 2009 was how poor LeBron James' supporting cast was. It's like, why? Mo Williams is giving you over 18 points a game. What do you think Michael Jordan had? Do you think he had some, Kyrie Irving to go get him 25 points a game? No, he didn't. He didn't have anybody like that. He had Anderson Varejao. He was all defense that year. I mean, he had good players on his team. They were one of the best. I think they were the best defensive team in the league that year. And they went through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, just blasted Detroit and Atlanta 8-0, just 8-0 on those 2 rounds like it was nothing. In game 1 against Orlando, they're up by 16 points at halftime. What on earth would make you think that Cleveland was going to fold up like hot laundry? What would make you think that? But they did. And then LeBron averaged 38 points a game. But he did not get the best out of his players. Plain and simple. If you're going to give him the credit for anything good, he must get the blame. When you get upset like that, there's nothing wrong with losing, but when you are the huge favorite like that, I mean, historic. I mean, you're one of 20 teams ever to win 65 or more games. It should have been an epic finals, with the only time in NBA history where 2 teams winning 65 games or more met each other in the same season. We've never seen this before, and we still never got a chance to see it because LeBron does what he does best, choke. So, I mean, I get people in the comments sometimes saying that, Jordan couldn't beat Larry Bird. Well, yeah, Michael Jordan's team won 40 games, and Larry Bird's team won 59. And the year before, his team won 30 games, and Bird's won 67. That would have been the biggest upset in NBA history by far. But no, the 96 or 97 Bulls never got a chance to play the 87 Lakers, the 86 Celtics, the 85 76ers. That didn't happen. But also, the 83 Sixers didn't get a chance to play the 86 Celtics or the 87 Lakers. They just never meshed up like that. The closest one was probably Milwaukee and the Lakers played each other. Milwaukee was a 63-win team. They were pretty much just as good as the 71 team. That was probably as close as we saw 2 teams of that caliber playing each other in the same season. 2009, I mean, they were promoting it. LeBron versus Kobe. This was going to be an epic finals, and it would have been. Cleveland that year, they were 26-4 against the West. 39-2 at home. They were mollywhopping people. Don't give me that crap about supporting cast. They were destroying people. They had good shooters. They had good defensive players on the inside. They had everything you needed to win a championship. No doubt about it. But LeBron James just choked it. What can you say? All he had to do was defend Rashard Lewis in game 1, and you win that game. All they had to do was hold serve, hold home court. Couldn't do it. Choked and disappointed all of us. And anyway, so to me, this is why LeBron James is just not on the level that you guys think he is, that the media portrays and that kind of thing. Even with historic stacked teams, 2 of the 20 best teams of all time, and he needed 7 games in 2013. This is a team that won, like 30 games in a row or like 27 games in a row? That's a third of the season, a 27-game winning streak. They were already the champs, and then they added Ray Allen. I mean, what more do you need? And you barely beat a 49-win Indiana team. Well, not barely, but it was 7 games. You needed 7 to beat a 49-win team in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then, against San Antonio, you needed the luckiest break that maybe I've ever seen in a finals game. Definitely one of them. And Ray Allen hit that clutch 3. I mean, how big was that signing just on that one play alone? Won you the championship, basically. But you needed all that. You were 66-16. I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? This is why just don't bring that stuff to me about LeBron James, deserves GOAT status or anything even close to that. He needed circumstances. Just like in 2016, same thing. 2020, a virus. He didn't beat Milwaukee that year. He beat Miami, a 5 seed. Tell me that's not a circumstance and a break. And they were missing players. So this guy's got break and circumstance just to squeak out 4 championships in 22 years. It's like, come on, people. Whatever you think of LeBron James's skill set, his athleticism, whatever you think, at the end of the day, the guy won 4 championships and his teams were stacked. Let's face it. He is supposed to be the difference. He is supposed to be the greatest player of all time. If he would have won some of those championships, then he would have been. Like in 2009, winning that championship right there. In 2011, he might have been very well in the conversation of it. It would have been legitimate. But he choked it up. That's what he does best. That's why you cannot come near LeBron James as a GOAT. I mean, I can't say it enough. It is what it is. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. It would really help me out. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I try to give daily content. In fact, I have for a while now. And anyway, that's it. Until next time.